How's it going, everyone? My name is Joshua Quadros, and welcome to the Shed Grooming Studios YouTube channel. We are a barber shop located in Brampton, Ontario. I just wanted to introduce myself. I've been a barber for about 15 years now, and today's theme is actually going to be a bit of a Q&A to give you guys an introduction to not just myself, but about the shop and how we came to be. We actually put out a post on our Instagram account for our customers and followers to ask us anything really they wanted to, that they wanted to know about our journey thus far. And we're going to dive right into it. So here we go. Alright guys, so the first question of the day is, what inspired/motivated you to open your business? I'd say what inspired and motivated me to open my business was opening the original shed in my parents' backyard about 5 years ago now. It was a little 10 by 12 shed. It was basically just a means to make a little bit of extra cash on the side. I was working full-time at that time, so I was working about 5 days a week, plus the 2 I was putting in cutting at home. And I really got a taste of what it would be like to own my own business. And through that experience, I basically decided alongside my wife Maddie that we just kind of had to dive right in and get right to it. And basically, we knew what we had to do because that feeling that I had there was completely irreplaceable. Having my clients come into an atmosphere that I created where they felt welcomed, it was warm, it was inviting. We wanted to replicate that, but on a larger scale. I knew I couldn't cut in my parents' backyard for the rest of my life, so we needed something a bit more substantial that was going to last the test of time. So we decided to open up our shop. So that's basically, I would say, what inspired me. Also knowing my worth, to be honest. At the shop I was working at, I was getting paid an hourly wage. It was nice and all, it was stability, don't get me wrong, but I was also charging, or I should say the shop I was working at was charging about $50 for a haircut. I was making about 18 bucks an hour. So you do the math. At the end of the day, I'm putting in the work, I'm not taking all of that home. So that kind of made me see the light, so to speak. So that's kind of where I figured, you know what, opening up our own shop would be the most beneficial thing for us in the long run. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with that. So the second question of the day is, when was the moment you knew you wanted to do this full time on your own? So kind of similar to the first question, basically, like I mentioned, I've been a barber for about 15 years. So which means I've also been an employee for about, I would say about 13 of those years. So I've worked at collectively 3 barbershops and a salon. I feel like I have a ton of experience under my belt. I've gone to school, I'm a licensed barber, and I'm super proud of that. And I would say after working at the last shop I was at, when I opened up the shed at the same time in my parents' backyard, that's kind of when I came to that realization that, I paid my dues. I felt like I was in a position where I had established a strong clientele. I had a really strong support system behind me, that being my family, my friends, my wife, who's also my business partner, Maddie. And, I feel like for the things that I lack in, i.e. when it comes to branding and marketing, Maddie picks up the slack on that. She's fantastic with all that stuff. She's a product junkie, so all of the amazing products that we carry at our shop, that's all thanks to her. So yeah, it was around that time when I realized that, everything was working for us. It was time to take that plunge and just do it, take that risk. We also at the time, we didn't really have anything holding us back. We didn't have a mortgage, we didn't have any kids. So we figured, let's take this risk now. So if all fails, we can always recover. We can always bounce back. There was nothing really holding us down. And now we've set ourselves up in a position where, we have our business, it's thriving, and now it's on to the next chapter, right? So yeah, that's when I realized it. So the third question of the day is, how did you come up with the name and the design of the shop? So we came up with the name and the design of the shop based off the original shed in my parents' backyard, paying homage to it. It was a shed, so we wanted to play off that. We loved the theme, we loved the warmth and the feeling that clients got when they came to my shed. It was a little 10 by 12 shed. Kind of basically felt like a little hangout for my clients when they came out. They would always say that it felt like a little boys club, a little tree house kind of a thing. So I loved that they had that feeling when they came by, and that's exactly what I wanted. As I mentioned earlier, I knew I couldn't be in that shed forever, so we had to open up a shop. One of the biggest tasks we were placed with was to try to replicate that feeling in a much larger space. One of the biggest compliments we get to this day is when clients come in and they see all the warm tones, a lot of the woods. Our accent wall, if you can see in the background, is actually made of particle board. Most sheds, if not all of them, are made out of particle board, so we wanted to keep it true to that feeling. We have tools on the wall that you would find in a shed. We have saws. Our slogan is basically, we're your backyard barbershop. And where's your shed? Most of the time, it's in your backyard, right? So, we just wanted to play off that. The idea is simple, same name, different tools. You go into your shed to mow your lawn, trim your hedges. You come into our shop to basically get all of that done. You're getting groomed by a different set of tools. Again, idea is simple, same name, different tools. So the fourth question of the day is, what is the long-term vision for the shed? So that's kind of a tricky question to answer, only because I feel like that vision is constantly evolving. It's never the same in my mind or in Maddie's mind. We're always sort of thinking of what the next move is going to be. We also don't try to get too ahead of ourselves. We like to stay in the now and do with what we can now. So to kind of spitball a couple of ideas and let you guys know some of the things that we want to work on in the near future and in the distant future. Some of the things are, we'd love to collaborate with one of the product companies that we deal with. They make amazing products, which is why we carry them. So we would love to collaborate with them and come up with something of our own alongside with them. So that would be super exciting, as we believe in hair product. I feel like it complements the hairstyles that we create here at the shed very well. So having our own product would be phenomenal. I would say the second thing would be to collaborate with a clothing company or a product company and have our work featured in a commercial or a magazine or an ad online, whatever the case may be. Something I've always wanted to do. I think that would be an amazing accomplishment to have our works showcased on that sort of a scale. So that's something we'd love to work on in the future. And I would say something, further down the road, we would love to open up another location. But that's a little further down. I feel like we have everything working for us at this point in time. It's just we don't want to run before we can walk, right? So we want to take our time with it and just kind of, see where things go. Play it safe, with the given environment, with COVID and all this stuff. Tomorrow it's so uncertain that we don't know what's going to happen, right? So we kind of have to just work with what we have now and kind of go from there. So yeah, that's kind of our vision. So the fifth question of the day is, what's been your biggest struggle? Now, I feel like I've known the answer to this one long before we ever actually opened up the shop. I could tell at the other barber shops and salon that I worked at that the hardest part is probably establishing a strong core team of employees. In our industry, there's a lot of turnover. It's really hard to hold down good barbers and stylists because, let's be honest, a lot of the time, once they establish their skill set, they establish a clientele, a lot of them don't want to stay with you and they want to leave. The other problem is that it's just really, I feel like our industry is overly saturated right now with a lot of wannabe barbers. There's a lot of guys that learn how to cut hair off YouTube, to be honest with you. That's all well and good. I feel like watching videos on YouTube is something you can add to your arsenal, but I feel like you have to give it the respect that it's due and go to school. Go to school, get licensed. Those things are important because if you give your craft that attention that it deserves and it needs, you'll be able to hopefully one day learn that discipline that it takes to go through the ropes, pay your dues, and eventually one day open up your own shop of your own. So we want people on our team that are like-minded, like that share the same values, that believe in what we stand for at our shop, which is, showing up, being professional, caring about what you're doing. Something as small as making sure that neck strip is tied nice and tight around the client's neck that, you know, they're draped properly. Basically, from beginning to the end of that service, it's really not just about the haircut. It's so much more than that. It's the customer service, it's the experience. You know, our shop is very small. We only have 4 chairs, so it's very intimate. It's only a 600 square foot space, so we don't even have a break room. So, you know, we really have to enjoy who we're working with because we spend about 8 hours a day with them. So, you know, if we don't like you, it's probably not going to work out, and it won't take long for us to figure that out because we do, like I said, we spend a lot of time with you in a very small space. But I would say the team we have now is pretty legit. You know, I have one of the chairs, Maddie has one of the chairs. We have 2 other barbers that work here. You'll meet the entire team at some point. We have Travis, and then there's Megan, who's our newest employee. She's one of our apprentices who's kind of going through the ropes right now. And, you know, the hope is to just continue with that, right? To find those like-minded people that are hardworking, driven, passionate about the craft, and are here for the long haul, right? So, yeah, that would be the biggest struggle, I would say. Alright guys, so last question of today's video is going to be kind of a fun one. It's, what's your favorite haircut to do? So, I would say the best haircut, or my most favorite haircut to do, and it's going to sound kind of lazy, but it's not, I promise, is a buzz cut. I say that because, you know, we work with so many, we work in branding, and you know, our clients have phenomenal hair. They have super long, dense, thick hair, so we do everything. You know, we do comb overs, we do faux hawks, blowouts, crop cuts, the list goes on and on, right? So we're always dealing with a lot of length. So every now and again, it's really nice when you get a guy come in, and we had a couple of them come back from quarantine that had, you know, 5 to 6 months worth of hair just overgrown, and we're just like, get this off the top of my head, just buzz it right down, you know, take it right off. And honestly, it's very satisfying to take a nice 1.5 or 2 to the top of someone's head, give them a nice skin fade, touch it up with a nice outline, finish it off. There's nothing better. Super fresh, it looks super clean. Most guys can rock it. As you can see, I'm a bald man myself. The only hair that I have on my face, or on my head I should say, is on my face. So, you know, I value a nice, clean, short look. And yeah, so I would say it's just a really nice buzz cut. That's my favorite haircut to do. Alright guys, so that wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to see more content. If you guys have any ideas for future videos that you'd like to check out, please leave them in the comments below and we'll be sure to address them. If you want to give us a follow, we're on Instagram at The Shed Grooming Studio. You can keep tabs on us, just kind of see what we're up to, haircuts that we're doing. But yeah, thank you again for tuning in, checking us out. Until next time, okay?